Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom, and in this video we're going to start a new book series. And I'm going to mispronounce this throughout this. So this is The Guardians of Ga'Hoole by Kathryn Lasky. So these are a fiction book, probably late elementary, early middle school would be the age range. This is fantasy. And the main characters are owls. So this is all the main characters are animals, specifically owls. You have a few eagles thrown in there. And I believe wolves are brought into it later in the series. As of this video, I actually haven't finished reading them yet. But we're going to be looking at the first book. So this is The Capture. In this book, we meet our main character, at least for the first several books, which is Soren. So he is a barn owl. So you have Soren here. And then you meet his friend Griffey, who is an elf owl. That's a she. And then I think you meet Twilight in here. Digger you don't meet till later. So these are the four kind of main characters, at least in these first set of books. And that's what I love about the physical books, is you can actually see the characters. And they give you a few more characters in the back. So mostly these guys are bad guys. So in the first part of the book, you have Soren, who's a baby owl. He can't fly yet. He's in his nest with an older brother and eventually a little sister. And they have a blind nurse snake and, of course, his parents. So one day, his parents go away to get food, and his brother pushes him out of the nest, and he falls. He's alive, but he falls. And the blind snake doesn't know how to rescue him. She knows he's down there, and then he's kidnapped, or owl napped, and he's taken to this place for orphaned owls called St. Angolas Academy for Orphaned Owls. Now, this is very, very creepy. So what they seem to be trying to do here, at least in this world, with these young owlets, now remember they cannot fly yet. These are all baby owls of different species. They force them, they give them a number, they force them to almost repeat their name so they forget it. And in order to keep them docile and almost brainwash them, they're forced to sleep under the moonlight, under like the full moon, where it almost goes, and it's supposed to make them essentially crazy and not know what is up, what is down, and kind of take away their ability to remember who they are, what they are, and anything about their past or their childhood or anything. So it's essentially turning them to little drones. And Soren kind of figures this out, as does Griffey, who's that little elf owl that he befriends. And they try to figure out how to prevent from going what they call, I believe what it's called is, they can give me the chapters here, moon blinking is what they call it. So they try to figure out how to kind of prevent moon blinking. And eventually they figure out what's being done. And different owls do different things here. They're trying to find these little pieces of metal, and they're essentially picking through various dusts and almost like child miners. They're picking through stuff. And you have to go higher up the ladder. And they're very much controlled. And eventually, Soren and Elfie figure out, okay, in order to get out of here, we have to learn to fly. So they have to wait until, again, these are owls, so they do have the quick time life of an owl. So their feathers are coming in. And essentially they figure out a couple of things. One, the reason the other owls, little ones, haven't really escaped is because vampire bats feed on them. So, and then because they've never learned to fly, they don't know about flying, they've been moon blinked, and they don't have the strength to do so, they never fly. They are helped out first by another owl called Hortense, who they have no idea how old she is. She's never revealed that. She's small, So she was thought of as an owlet and kidnapped, and was not. She's actually been stealing eggs and working with a pair of eagles, help return eggs that are being stolen back to their nests. There is a big battle with these eagles, and I think the female eagle loses her eyesight, which is not really good for an eagle. Or no, she doesn't lose her eyesight. She loses her tongue in this battle, and Hortense disappears, supposedly did. The two owlets are then helped by another owl who is working there, and he kind of learns their story. I believe, what is his name? Let's see if I can find Grimble. And basically his family was taken, and he tried to negotiate. If he helped them, that he'd get his family back, but he realizes he can't. So he helps these two little owls learn essentially to fly in secret, and using the library and basically showing them an escape route. He picks a specific night where they can escape. Once they have their pin feathers, he protects them from the vampire bats, and then at the end of the book, they're able to escape, and they gain their freedom, and then of course he dies helping them get free. So that is the gist, I believe, of this book. No. And then, let's see. They fly. Oh, you do. You meant, they run into, they meet, I believe, yeah, Digger. So you do meet Digger in this book. They meet Digger and Twilight. So once they escape, they run into Twilight, who's another male owl. He was kidnapped, but he fought back. And so he was dropped and survived. And he learned how to fly on his own, and he learned how to survive on his own because he fought back and they didn't want to bother with him. So it's like, okay, he's just going to go and die. And he helps them out when they land after flying, because of course they didn't know anything about landing either. So they decide, okay, we want to go find our families. So they try to find their families. They, I believe they find Miss P first, which is the snake. Yeah. So Griffey's family is gone. They go to find Soren's family. They're gone too. He does, however, run into Miss P, who's the snake, and essentially, as far as she knows, the parents disappeared, brother disappeared, little sister, I think, was pushed out of the nest and disappeared. So the family's gone. And so he decides to bring Miss P with him, and they're going to go to the basically tree of Gunghole, or Gahul, I'm pronouncing this, which is something they've heard in legends, and you have the guardians of Gunghul who are noble and strong, and they'll defend the weak, and they want to go and join them and then get rid of these evil owls that are kidnapping and brainwashing baby owlets. So they meet up along with Twilight, they meet up with him. Then they're on their way. They go to the desert and they find this Digger, who's he's a ground owl. I can't remember what the heck type of owl he is. I've seen them in my zoo. Basically, they're a burrowing owl. That's what he is. So he's a desert burrowing owl. And yes, they are on the ground. I saw them at our zoo. We see them at our zoo. So I've quite a picture of the actual burrowing owls. And he's running around trying to find his burrow, because the owls who kidnapped them had shown up. They killed his baby brother, and they took one of his other siblings. And then he's trying to find his family. Eventually they find out that with the help of the eagles, these other owls come back to try to kidnap him. Or kill him, and the eagles help them, and the eagles who had been helping Hortense show up and help them, and they don't like these owls either because they're killers, and there's various other reasons that I will not go into to kind of keep some of the secrets of this book. So after that battle, these 4 young owls, Twilight, Soren, Griffey, and Digger, decide to go and travel along with Miss P, the blind snake, to Gun Hole. So, to find the guardians and learn to help save these other owlets. So that's the gist of this book. It's a very good book. It's not too long. It's, let's see here on how long. There we go. It's 202 pages. No, that's not it. That's the, there we go. So about 219, 218 pages. So not too bad. Definitely late elementary, early middle school is the range. It does get kind of dark. I know from reading some of the other books in the series, it does get kind of dark as time goes on. But they're still very good books, animal focused, kind of a hero's story kind of tales. So, but again, focused on owls. So if you have owl obsessed children, if you're learning about owls, you like fiction, great series to go through. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be covering all of these. I think there are 13. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm still reading them. And I've never read these before. So as I make these videos, I am reading through these books. So that is it for this book review. If you like what you see, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I am covering the rest of these books. I have a lot of other series I've covered. I've covered The Princess Diaries. I've covered another various fantasy series. I cover nonfiction books. I cover children's picture books. I do all sorts of films. Nothing really recent. I have a small child. I don't go to the theater these days. Not yet anyway. We are a homeschooling family, so secular. We don't do religion kind of thing. So I will add some more of that stuff as time goes on. My daughter's relatively young, so we're just getting into that. So I will add that as well as some travel stuff as we're able to travel more and do some more experiences and talk about our experiences with the traveling with kids, which is one of the big reasons we chose to homeschool. So like and subscribe. If you want to comment, go right ahead. It helps the channel grow. So thank you.